Well, Game 2 of the NBA Finals is now over as the Raptors lose 109-104 to the Golden State Warriors at Scotiabank Arena, and now you have the tough task of going back to Golden State in Oakland at an even series. And man, I think all of us Raptor fans wanted to see this go 2-0 going back there, but instead it's a 1-1 series going to Oakland. And look, I can sit here and I can say, well, the referees won this game. I could sit here and say that, but they were abysmal in the first half, and that was the only reason the Golden State Warriors were in that game. And people are gonna say, "Well, no, I wouldn't say." Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of numbers here. Here we go. The Raptors had I think it was like a 5-point lead there in the second quarter. Okay, the Golden State Warriors had 30 points. I checked the stats. 14 of them were from the free throw line. You guys do the math. Almost half of their points were scored at the free throw line, keeping them close at the half. But the Raptors played a great defensive half. They were up by 5 in the break. They're feeling good. All right, we got a lead at the end of 2. Now you got to come out of the gate in the third quarter strong. They did everything but that. When you give up an 18-0 run to start the third quarter to the Golden State Warriors and give them a 13-point lead, more often than not, they are not going to give that game up. Now, yes, the Raptors did come back late in the game, and Danny Green knocked down a big shot there to cut the deficit to 2, but in the end, if you just started out the third quarter even half decent, you would have been all right. They didn't score a point until about the 6-minute mark. But halfway through the fourth quarter, that's when they made that first shot. And yeah, they came back, and from that moment to the end of the third quarter, they were +5. Great and all. But the problem was the 18-0 run. When you give a team like Golden State that type of run, they will beat you, period. That's it. There's no doubt about it. Because they are the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions. When they take what did they do against the Portland Trail Blazers? They didn't lead the entire game against Portland. They led by a very, very small margin, but they swept Portland. You know why? They made the runs count at the right time. They were down by 5 at the half. They come out of the break, they go on an 18-0 run, they're up by 13, and they hang on to win it. On the road. And people are going to say, well, they can win without KD. Well, I sure flippin' hope so. You got DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. I sure hope you can win without Kevin Durant. But the fact of the matter is, the Raptors offensively in the second half were not good at all. And their defense, how many baskets do we see behind the Raptors defense right and tight to the net? You know why that is? They're so worried. They are so conscious about that 3-point line. Everyone's moved up, and the big guy like Andrew Bogut had played 6 minutes, but he had 6 points. Draymond had quite a few points on the inside. You saw quite a few guys get on the inside and nice, easy little lanes behind the Raptors, and you're like, man, that can't happen. Then you go to the fourth quarter, you're down by 8. With 5 minutes to, or I think it was 12, with 5 minutes to go, and I'm like, this game is over. But then the Raptors get defensive stop after defensive stop after defensive stop, and I'm like, man, they can do this. Oh wait, they couldn't make a shot. When they were getting their stops, their offense was nowhere to be found. Now at the start of the third quarter, it was a bit of both. Wouldn't make a shot, couldn't get a stop. It was horrendous. And yeah, they made that little run at the end of the fourth quarter. They lost by 5, and Andre Iguodala, of all people, hit the dagger at the end of the game. But they should not have been there, you know? I mean, look, I get it. Golden State at the start of the third quarter is where they usually thrive. I get that. But if you're the Raptors, you know that. But an 18-0 run is just way too big to overcome. Look what the Raptors did in the last round against the Milwaukee Bucks. A 26-3 run in that Game 6 game, and they went on to win that game. It's not about who has the biggest run. It's about when it happens and really who you're playing. You give up an 18-0 run against Golden State, I would say 85 to 90%, that's a loss. because that means that team had that big of a lead. They were down 5, and just like that, without the Raptors even getting a bucket, they're up 13. You just can't give that up, guys. I mean, look, Curry didn't even play a great ball game. He was not as good as he was in Game 1. He had 23 points. He shot 6 of 17, 3 of 10 from 3. Look, Freddie did a good job against him. Lowry did a good job against him. But it was the supporting cast of the Golden State Warriors that killed you. I mean, I wouldn't say Klay Thompson, I guess, is a supporting cast, but he didn't come back late in the game. So you can't throw that on that. He had 25 points in 32 minutes. He shot 10 of 17 and 4 of 6 from 3. He was dynamite. Draymond Green, one assist away from a triple-double again. He had 17 points this time. But again, I'm going to say, a lot of his offense was behind the Raptors' defense, getting these nice, easy lay-ins. They weren't playing hard against Draymond. They did last game. He shot 2 of 9. But he did a great job today. He shot 6 of 12. He missed both threes, but he was awesome. And Iguodala, yeah, only 8 points, but he had 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and the dagger at the end of the game. And then DeMarcus Cousins, because of course they need DeMarcus Cousins, because that's what this NBA is all about. Get 5 NBA superstars, and we'll be okay. Yeah, you think? He played 28 minutes, he had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He had 2 blocks in the game. DeMarcus was good. And Raptor fans, get used to seeing a lot of this guy. He's probably going to be in the starting lineup the rest of the series. And this game was without Kevin Durant. He might be back for game 3 or 4. But nonetheless, you have to win a game in Golden State now. Quinn Cook had 9 points, but he made a couple big threes. You know, he got hot, right? So, you know what? You see what happens when guys get red hot. They start chucking up threes. They're feeling good. Quinn Cook did that, and he made some big shots. You know, Livingston had 6 points, but you know the defense he's going to do. And like I said, Andrew Bogut played 7 minutes. He's had 6 points. He was 3 of 3. All the buckets were behind Raptors defense. They were, and I think 2 were alley-oops because the Raptors, again, let him behind him. And then 1 was a nice, easy lay-in because he was behind the defense. They weren't good, the Raptors. I mean, look, first half they were fantastic. Look, they had 65 points, or sorry, it was like 59. I think it was 59, 54, something like that, or something along those lines at the half. You had almost 60 points. But then in the second half, you score 50. The problem, you give up, was it 55 points? It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You know, in a quarter where you needed to be plus 8, I think it was, in that. Look, bottom line, you're minus 13 in the third quarter, you're going to lose a lot of games. And you look at the Raptors. Who are the big guys in the last game? Well, Pascal Siakam. Well, he shot 5 of 18 today, had 12 points, 8 rebounds. Not as good. Kawhi Leonard was better than he was in the last game. He shot 8 of 20, but he had 34 points and 14 rebounds. He was awesome. Marc Gasol, he had 20 in the last game. He had 6 today on 2 of 7 shooting. Lowry, I think he had 7 in the last game. He had 13 today. But again, he fouled out late in the game, so it was a tough loss there. Fred VanVleet, yeah, he had 17, but he shot 7 of 17. It's not very efficient. We've gotten so used over the last, 4 games or so? He's been super efficient. Now, he's going to have some off nights here and there. Norman Powell was all right, but Serge Ibaka was okay. You didn't have that big supporting cast beside Kawhi Leonard. You looked at the Golden State Warriors, you had Draymond, who, like I said, was an assist away from a triple-double. You had Curry and Klay, they combined for 48, excuse me. But Klay only played 32 minutes because he left the game. You know, and then you had Cousins with a double-double. Then your bench gave them a little bit of spark, but the Raptors bench really didn't give them, other than Fred VanVleet, who took a lot of shots, didn't give them the whole lot. Danny Green had 11 in the last game. He only had 8 today. He shot 3 of 7. If you want to break down that last little bit of that fourth quarter, we can do so. And I can sit here and say, well, you had 50-odd seconds left. You were down by 5. You needed a shot. The Raptors took 3 shots on one play. Well, they took a shot, got an offensive rebound, took another shot, missed it, got another rebound, kicked it to Danny Green, got the 3. That was great. But they killed 30 seconds off the clock almost. And that was a big killer. You make it that first time. You make it 3 that first time. It's a 2-point game. 40 seconds left or 35 seconds left. You get a stop at one end. You have a full shot clock to get the win. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. But like I said, in the end, we can all talk about what happened the first half, the fourth quarter, 5 minutes ago. But in the end, it was that 18-0 run that killed the Toronto Raptors. Did the referees help Golden State in the first half stay in the game? Oh, big time. Anybody who denies that is delusional. But that's what happened in the first half. You got to play 48 minutes. The Raptors didn't. Period. And you got to against the Golden State Warriors. They did in game one. They didn't allow that third quarter run to the Raptors in that third quarter. That's why they were so good. But today, you gave up that run and you lost. Game 3 of the NBA Finals, guys, goes on Wednesday night. Great, another 3 days to go. I hate this 3-day gap. It's so stupid. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. tip-off there in Golden State, in Oakland, at Oracle Arena. And for the Raptors, look, we talked about it in the last video. If you won today, we would have loved to see one victory in Golden State and have, I guess, push them to the brink of elimination. But with the loss today, you need a victory in Golden State. I don't care if it's the next one or if it's game 4. You need a victory in Golden State. It is not going to be easy because in one of those 2 games, we're expecting to see Kevin Durant. We saw the impact of Cousins tonight. You fire in Kevin Durant, what do you expect? Especially at home at Oracle Arena. This was the game you wanted tonight. You didn't get it. Now your focus turns to game 3. I mean, that's really all we can do at this point. When you have 4 All-Stars on a team and your 5th guy's missing, and he'll be back soon, what do you expect? This Raptor team is great. They're an amazing ball team. They've shown a lot of resilience. The best team in the Eastern Conference, the best team in the league record-wise this year in the Milwaukee Bucks. They made them look silly. But then you face a super team. And then you're like, okay, well, we kind of won our NBA championship. This is, I'm not saying the series is over. Because it's clearly not. It's only a 1-1 series. But the fact that you lost today, you're going to Golden State without the momentum, and we're assuming in one of those games Kevin Durant is going to be back, it's going to be difficult. But like I've said, you have to take at least 1 in Oakland. And that game, I would love to get game 3 and get that 2-1 lead and then not have to stress too much about game 4. But we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out, guys. Game 3 goes on Wednesday, 9 p.m. tip-off there in Oakland at Oracle Arena for Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Raptors and Warriors. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys didn't really enjoy the spurts, I guess, in this game today. Smack the like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video. What were your thoughts on the Raptors? What were your thoughts on the referees, the Warriors? Give me everything, all your analysis towards this game. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition sometime this week. We haven't really coordinated yet how or when, more or less, we're going to be doing the podcast, though. Links are in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, guys. Do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys, Jays edition, I guess, on Tuesdays. They welcome the Yankees to town. Yippee-doo. Clayton Richard against Masahiro Tanaka. 7:07 first pitch at Rogers Center there. And as for the Raptors, Game 3 of the NBA Finals goes in Oakland at Oracle Arena. 9 p.m. tip-off on Wednesday night. Do not let them have that run. Get out to the lead. Get your mojo going early, and do not let them go on their prototypical run. You do that, you're going to lose, especially in Oakland. It is not going to be easy to win there, but for the Raptors, you have to win 1. And like I said earlier, I want Game 3. 9 p.m. tip-off Wednesday night in Oakland. Raptors, Warriors, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.